Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Ryalflex here. And today I wanted to talk about a couple tips and tricks that you can utilize at the gym to get a more effective workout. Now, some of these you might have heard of before, some of these you might have seen before, and some of these you might possibly be already doing. But I'm still going to mention them anyway. First thing I want to focus on is squats, okay? Have you ever been at the gym and seen somebody, maybe even yourself, not being able to go all the way down to what you consider parallel or below parallel, which is where most people assume and say that squats should be when done? Have you ever sat there and bashed somebody or heard somebody bash somebody in a video or on a forum that no reps were done that day? Well, have you ever considered the other side of things? That they might not have the ankle mobility or flexibility to get down all the way. A couple things that you can do to remedy this is to take off your shoes and squat barefoot. This allows you to have an even plane because your feet are completely flat, as most shoes and sneakers will have an elevation in the heel. Okay? This allows you to stay more balanced and stance throughout the squat, thus allowing you to go down a little more. You can also utilize a small board or weights underneath the back of your heel to elevate you a little more than a normal shoe would, and that'll help you hold balance if you have a problem with tipping backwards. Okay? There's also specific shoes made for squatting and working out that are more inclined or declined or completely flat to utilize for this type of training. All three can help you out. Another tip I wanted to talk about is when you are doing lat pull downs or any type of pull down on a machine, I want you to utilize different grip positions, okay? Don't just stay in the same one each time. Utilize the length of the bar. Some are small, some are short, some have the grip facing in. There's various ways to do this, okay? And each one works your muscles differently. So don't be afraid to change how you are gripping the bar. Close, wide, in between, or far out, okay? They all play an effective role in getting you proper workout and your muscles hit from different ways, okay? It's very important no matter what exercise you're doing, but I often see that on lat pull downs and different machines. You want to be effective throughout all of your movements, okay? Form and function is key. Another tip I wanted to talk about is when people are doing hammer curls, I see them pick up the dumbbells from the very center, and they have about an inch on each side of their hand where it's free. Now, when you're doing these types of curls, hammer curls, you're supposed to hold it like a hammer. Now, as a hammer, you don't hold at the very top of the head, you hold it down at the base. Now, when you're doing hammer curls, it's better to save your wrist the stress and hold it so that the top of the weight is laying right on top of your hand. Hold it towards there and grip it really tight. This allows some of the weight to rest on the top of your hand and not strain the top of the wrist out, okay? That can help you if you're having trouble and your wrist is starting to feel like it's in pain. You can also utilize gloves that have a wrist protection on them or just get wristbands to help keep your wrist more sturdy, okay? This will help you if you're having pain and you're having short on your motion and your flexibility, all right? Another trick I wanted to utilize here that you may have seen before is when you are benching, you need to realize there are several types of benching. Now, there are powerlifter benchers who like to arch their back all the way up to the sky with their pelvis in the air, and then there are others who like to go flat foot. There are others who tuck their feet back. There's multiple positions, okay? And each one has its own role and effect. Now, for me, I like to bench completely flat as much as possible with a small arch that's naturally in your lower back, keeping my butt from lifting up, keeping my shoulders pressed and back together, my blades, and also finding a grip that works for me. Now, I always advocate to move your positioning on the bars. I like to go a little bit wider. Sometimes I'll be in and sometimes I'll be more even. Hit your muscles from every angle that you can. Try different things. You might find one that works better for you on heavier weight versus lighter weight and everything in between. But please be mindful that form is important. It's very proper and it is needed for you to get a really good workout and not injure yourself. There's too many people that ego lift and hurt themselves, okay? One last tip that I wanted to talk about in this video is when people are doing shoulder shrugs with the dumbbells or the barbell, I always see a lot of them that just shrug up and down like this, okay? That's not effectively hitting your traps, which is what you're trying to work. When you are working traps, you would like to lean your body slightly forward. Do not move your head. Keep your body straight and centered as much as possible, and then go like this. It's hard because I have a shirt on, but you can see my muscles working my traps. I'm not just going straight up like this. And the people that stand there and go like this and row their arms in a circular motion, you're looking for rotator cuff injury right there, okay? That's another thing you want to avoid. Your shoulder joints are going to get ruined doing that. When you're standing there, if you just put a slight lean in and you work, you can see I'm going up and on an angle and I'm squeezing my shoulder blades but also my traps together. That's what those workouts are for, okay? You want to utilize hitting those muscles the right way. If you're just standing there swinging the weight like this and shrugging, you're not doing anything but letting people know you don't know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just going with the motion, okay? A lot of people talk about mind muscle, all right? Getting the muscle and the mind together and feeling and working on the same thing. Now, excuse me, when I work out, I like to work out in a tank top. Unless I'm at home, I'll work out without a shirt. Now, that's not me being ego and having people look at me and stare at me and feeding me and all that stuff. But I like to see how my muscles are moving while I'm doing the exercises. That's one thing I really stress. Focus on how your body's looking as you're doing the motion. See which muscles are moving, see which muscles are engaging, and you can really focus on hitting them. I'm not going to be like C.T. Fletcher and tell you to yell and curse and bark orders at your muscles, but his mentality was to focus on the muscle and mind connection, and that is a real thing. Focus on what you're doing with proper form. Squeeze at the top, hold the contraction, pause and stop, work and stop. You know, it's all relative to the same thing, okay? So if you guys have any other tips and tricks that I didn't mention in this video, pop them down below. Maybe I'll make a video on them. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them below, and maybe your next question or thought could be my next video. If you're not a subscriber yet and you liked what you heard and saw in this video, as well as my other videos, please consider subscribing. I'll be posting how-tos and informational videos each and every day for you guys. I hope everybody has a blessed day. Stay strong, Fit Fam, and I will see you in the next video.